Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good
Morning.
evening. Once again, we are here to launch an amazing book by Gurusrinivas ji, The Incomplete Show. Griffin publication welcomes you all to celebrate this grand occasion. I do not know if you are able to see the screen. Can you see the screen, or you can just watch me and the participants?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can see the
we're able
screen.
to see the
All right. So, welcome all of you. I will not speak much about the book because our esteemed author Guru Srinivas ji is already here. He will speak. But prior to that, I must welcome, expressing my gratitude to our esteemed guest speakers today. As usual, I'm always grateful to Siju sir, and I missed him a lot in few of our events because he was extremely busy, and catching him is actually difficult. And I had to text him. He was so busy that he couldn't see. But today I found him and I caught him, and thank you so much for taking out time, sir. And
Okay.
Guru,
It's my honor.
we are not aware, we are not unaware of Siju sir, right? Siju sir is a best-selling author. He is the founder of Motivational Strips. Why Motivational Strips is important for all of us? Because it is the world's most active writers forum. And this forum has associations with many government literary institutions and is vital authority in poetry and literature worldwide. And the writers here we have writers from more than 190 countries and has monthly impressions crossing 7 million. And the pillar of this forum is Siju sir. So we call him Siju sir. And he has authored two best-selling books. My favorite, Katashi Tales. I will also get hold of the other one, The Ghost Wisdom. Both these books were recipients of Global Readers' Choice Gold Medals in 2019 and 2020, respectively. He received posthumous accolade of honor from Gujarat Sahitya Academy last year for his meritorious contributions to national and international literature. He was awarded multiple times by Toastmasters International for public speaking. He is a seasoned speaker for many academics and institutions worldwide. Being the recipient of many accolades, awards, and honors, he is respected by many government literary institutions worldwide. We welcome you, Siju sir. And why I'm grateful, sir, is here because he is the pillar who has brought global writers from all over the world together under one umbrella. And together we have these millions of writers we are here. So when Shiju sir is in our event, we are in fact fortunate because our voice will reach millions of writers through motivational strips. Thank you so much, sir. We have with us Barbara Enthru ma'am. When she will come, I will introduce her then. We have Melissa Begley ma'am, again one of the executive members of Motivational Strips. She is also an award winning poet. She has written innumerable poems. I find her writing daily. She is an inspiration to the young generation and, in fact, to all the seasoned poets. We have Dawa Drukpa sir. He is a researcher, he is an educationist in Bhutan, and he is also a researcher. You will find him when you see his posts and all. He is a social activist. In Bhutan, he has been doing lots of social services. We see him almost every day serving the society in Bhutan. Thank you so much, Drupal sir, for accepting my invitation. Melissa ma'am is always, again, a strong pillar to us, to Griffin publication, in fact, because whenever I need some support, I just, hold on to Melissa ma'am and Barbara ma'am. Siju sir is always the pillar. So I think Barbara ma'am is here. She has just joined. So we welcome all of you. We have also Bhutia sir All right, I do not know. I think he's from Bhutan or some other country. He just requested me for the link to join. I welcome him and his family to the show. And I also welcome Guru Srinivas's mother today. We are very again fortunate today that his mother is watching us. Last time also she wanted to join, but because of her professional commitments, she couldn't join. So I welcome you, ma'am, to the grand launch of your son's book, The Incomplete Fear.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning and good afternoon and good evening to everyone. Thank you.
The Incomplete Fear. I would not speak much of the book because this book, when you hear the title, The Incomplete Fear, it speaks a lot. The fear in me, fear in you, the fear in every individual. All right, when you flip the pages of the book, you will know how we have dealt with this fear and provided us certain even lessons of life. At this young age, when he's experimenting on himself, all right, he's sharing his experiences with all of us. Guru Srinivas ji is a corporate, you know, person. He works in a corporate, but he loves writing. Writing is his passion. This is his second book. His first book, The 10x Will of Life, is a best-selling book, and it is really doing very good. He has been awarded with the best-selling author this year by Griffin publication. The memento will be reaching him soon. So welcome, Guru Srinivas.
Thank you, Mosmi. Thank you, Griffin Publication, for this opportunity to launch this book in front of like all the audience. Thanks everyone for coming to the show. So once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, for taking a time to come to the show for us. Thank you so much, everyone.
So we have now, yes, here we have our beautiful, gorgeous Barbara ma'am. We are waiting for you. I hope you can hear me, Barbara ma'am.
I can hear you very well. Thank you.
Again, great source of motivation and encouragement. Barbara ma'am is again an executive member of Motivational Steps. She is an inspirational, poet. She is an award winning, and the list of her awards and honors are endless. All right, and Guru, you already know her. Tomorrow
Yeah.
we will again introduce all of you in a detailed way. So, ma'am, Barbara, ma'am, thank you so much for taking out time. I know it's morning, early morning. You had to wake up early, dress up and show us your smile so that we all get motivated. Thank you so much for being here.
You're
We will.
welcome. Masami, I hardly get up for anyone, but for you I will, because you have done so much for us. So you've come, you've managed to come on programs when you're in the middle of travel and so forth. So I thought I should get up early for you. So
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would request, as usual, our guest speaker, Siju sir, to say a few words so that we start our event with a strong, motivation factor from you. Yes, Siju sir. What would you say today and to Guru Srinivas before we formally launch his book?
First and foremost, am I audible? Wait.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, am I audible enough?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my dear adorable fellow writers. I'm sure all of you are somewhat correlated with literature, so I would rather address you all of you as fellow writers. Uh, I think Mausmi gave a great eulogy about me in terms of a bio, but down the earth on a grounded level, we all remain as writers. And that is one of the greatest achievement that I've ever achieved in life. That I have been, one of the privileged person who could move a pen on directions with sense and sensibility. So that is what actually is one of the greatest award I've received in life. And having founded motivational strips, of course, I've got a lot of friends around now. I mean, whenever I feel I need some kind of mind activity, I can always peep into motivational strips, and somehow I get hooked onto that. That is also a different part of it. The most important thing is that book launches are very important. Book launches are very important. The reason why it is very important is first and foremost, it is also a way of networking. So I would rather say a commencement of networking with a larger mass. Because a book, you can't just all of a sudden show a book on Amazon and then, you keep going behind people saying that, there's a book, there is a book. That's not how it is done. A proper system of book launches, like you have a launch, and after the launch, it goes in air, and then you do some kind of commercials in terms of like wherever there is a large gathering, you have to keep showing your book. Amazon also, to an extent, helps you in this process. But then, at the end of the day, it is the author who has to take the efforts of making sure that the book reaches everywhere. So Gurusrinivas would have already mastered that skill by now, because as Mausumi said, his first book was a bestseller. So I think you would have already undergone this process now. So like that story, what you had written about, like it's the mentality of a 5-year-old kid and a 70-year-old kid. Sorry, 70-year-old adult is not the same. So maybe in the first book you were into that 5-year-old kid, and now you have matured and got into the league of writers. So already you're an established author.
Thank
So
you
I
so much.
don't find that you would have to put in as much effort as what you would have to put in the last from the previous book which you published. And of course, with such a gem like Mausumi, and of course Griffin publication, half of your job is already done. So it's kind of, we say no, we expect half from the Supreme, and the rest we do. So here the publisher is a person who's also an author. She's not just a publisher, she's also an author. So she can understand the sentiments of every writer, and that becomes a very important factor when it comes to, book publication. First and foremost, the uncertain fear, as the book name is concerned. I mean, sorry, the incomplete fear, as the book name goes. Fear is always incomplete. See, either you do it or you don't do it. There's always that in between, which we call actual fear. And after having gone through the gist of your book, what I could understand is that you are actually doing a noble cause of making people realize the importance and relevance of serenity. Because in today's world, no, people all go behind peace, and going behind peace, they don't know actually what is the process of peace. Now, Ukraine is at war with Russia. Russia is at war with Ukraine. They both, if you ask them, they are telling that they are at war for peace. For what peace? Everything, every buildings, everything is shattered into pieces. So for somebody's personal peace, the entire society and the countries are getting destroyed. So the main path of peace, as Gurusrinivas, I believe, is trying to communicate through this book, is a calm mind, serenity. And for achieving that, you have to introspect deep within yourself and understand things which can make this process much more easier. And getting peace is not so easy. I'll tell you why it's not easy. I will quote again the one of the example what I went through the book of Gurusrinivas. What I understood is, when a 5-year-old child, as Gurusrinivas quoted in that book, when a 5-year-old child remains silent, it is like, either we think maybe he's suffering from some problem, maybe health issues or anything else. If we try to take that child to a doctor or something like that. But when a 70 or 50 or 60-year-old person remains silent, the first thing that strikes our mind is that, the person might be having a egoistic issue, or there might be a personality disorder. This is the two things that comes into our mind. So here we understand that to keep or tame our mind, to see everything on a lighter note, whether it is one of the world's greatest challenge, whether it is professional challenge, whether it is personal challenge, whether it is challenges related to society, the best way to address that issue or challenges is to keep ourselves positive. We have to learn filtering out those minor things which can bring in a lot of negative vibes to us. Some people, like, love saying that, there is a murder which has happened in the neighborhood, or there is a death which has happened in the neighborhood, or, there has been a fight, quarrel happening between a family in the neighborhood. Some people love to say, oh my God, I saw that new flower blooming in that garden. I saw that little kitten, it's become so cute, it's become so fluffy. The same neighborhood, there are two versions of bringing across, things. Now, if I start going behind the murders and the looting or the robbery or the quarrels, what happened over there, or whether, two ladies were fighting over there or two gents or gentlemen were fighting over there, that is actually a pollutant to my path to achieve ultimate peace. That is a pollutant on my path to achieve my ultimate peace. Whereas a lot of positive things, like there is a meadow around there, or I saw that small little kitten, so sweet. Maybe it's a child coming and telling you, or somebody said, do you know there's an opportunity for poetry? There's a contest going on. I'm just telling in terms of literature. Or somebody says, I think this time that celebrity is going to come here and he's going to address, our town, or somebody is going to speak about a subject which is very positive, and somebody is going to speak about it. So people who come to us with these kinds of rumors or gossip is still welcome. Let it be a rumor or a gossip. Maybe it's not true, but still it is welcome because it is giving us positive feedback. People who come and say, that person's attitude, I can't stand him a minute, or he creates a lot of problems. He's a mess everywhere. How can you judge until you haven't interacted or correlated with that person? And it's actually, your mind is getting controlled by somebody else. You shouldn't allow that. So Gurusrinivas' book is actually a book which should be read by each and every person, because this book, in a just, I don't know how far I'm correct, Gurusrinivas, but in a just, it actually leads to that serenity what is required, which cannot be
True.
bought by dollars or cryptocurrency. So that
Yes.
you have to have a greater connection or a broader connection with yourself first before you connect to the society. And the best way to do that is introspection. I'm really happy that you have come up from I wouldn't call you an infant, but from a young child now to a matured writer. And I'm
Thank you.
really very happy to hear Mausami saying that your first book was a bestseller, because the reason is that I was also part of that great auspicious ceremony. So
Yes.
you say, no, like something where we are present and that becomes a success. There is no greater news to hear than, hear such. These are all positive vibes, it gives me a lot
Yes.
of energy. And see the kind of enthusiasm I have while speaking to all of you today. I don't even feel that any of the others are even strangers whom I'm meeting for the first time, because that is because already my mind has been strengthened with positive vibes I see over here, like Barbara smiling, like Melissa smiling. I can see somebody called Sudha also. They are very smiling. Everybody is in a smiling face. I can see a bit of good Bhutanese culture also coming in. The world is one. We have US here, we have Bhutan here, we have India here, and last few days, I'm sure most of me, I was engrossed with the poetry contest. The whole world was there. So just imagine the impact and power we all have when we all get united, getting partaking in such events. Even Gurusrinivas, you can now start giving a little bit addressal about your book. You can start, socially positioning yourself to handle broader mass, because many people, they have a misconception that writers are only good at writing, they're not good at public speaking. That's a myth. I believe a bit of effort by a writer, he or she can be a greater speaker than the normal public speakers. That's what I feel personally. But the only thing is that everything has to have a beginning, and these kinds of occasion what we have, these kinds of launches and all, it is very important. This is the reason I say, because this is the place where you start getting the right kind of network. Tomorrow, Barbara will go and say, Guru Srinivas has written a book. Oh my God. Somebody, it goes to somebody, and she is a person who is influential on a larger mass. So keep identifying such niche points. The reason why I'm telling you this, Gurusrinivas, is I want your second book also to be bestseller. So I have to hammer this suggestion on you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Mausami, for giving me an opportunity. It's rather an honor to be here for this function. And I would like to keep speaking on and on and on, but I'm sure that there are other keynote speakers. So I just, in a nutshell, I understood that the book has a noble cause. And my best wishes are already there with you, Guru Srinivas, ever since your first book. So I'll just multiply it a bit for your second book also, so that it comes up as another bestseller in the market. I'm
Thank you.
sure it will, with the support of Griffin Publication and mostly Sachdeva. So with love and regards to all of you, I would like to hand over the opportunity to speak again back to Mausami, so she can designate who would like to speak next. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your motivating words. Yes, Guru Srinivas, you must be enlightened today. Guru Srinivas, before we go to Barbara, ma'am, a question, so that everybody can speak something about your book. Although I have sent the book to everyone,
Yeah,
tell me
sure.
something about the title of your book. Why the incomplete fear?
So basically, this title, Incomplete Fear, there are two words in the title. So incomplete, we all know, and fear is actually complete. So there is something incomplete. Incomplete is something anxiety. So we have a difference between fear and anxiety. So fears, we all know it's external. Like we fear about failing in an exam. We fear about failing in something. We fear about losing someone. These are all fears. So these are all like which are concrete, which are logical, which are visible to us. But then there is anxiety. So anxiety is something that which is not visible to us. So in this way, so I have titled this book Incomplete Fear, in the sense that people are not actually exactly knowing what fear it is actually. So I thought of titling it as Incomplete Fear, but then there's a flaw in the title itself. I wanted that flaw to be there because I want people to know that there is nothing called as incomplete fear. Fear is always complete, but then anxiety is incomplete. So we want to cover the anxiety in every one of us. We have to discover the anxiety. We have to be aware of the anxiety. The first chapter of the book itself is like knowing yourself. So but that is how we have structured this book. So to answer this question, kind of the title and the reason behind this title is these are the points. So that's the thing.
Great, great. Wonderful, Srinivas. If the title is catchy, and I hope, now our speakers and the guests present here, those who are listening to your words to us, they can now relate to the book, The Incomplete Fear. Barbara ma'am is here. She is a wonderful poet, an award-winning poet, and a radio host. She also hosts various poetry, programs related to social cause and all. Barbara ma'am, can you hear me?
Hello. Good morning, good
Good
afternoon, and
morning,
good
ma'am.
evening. And thank you, Miss Sami, for inviting me. And I actually hosted with my wonderful co-host, Melissa Begley, who's here. And I did read. I couldn't read it all fast, but I read it as much as I could. And I found this very interesting because many people do not dwell on fear as something that you can overcome. And I think that the way that you put this in the book was very clear, and it takes meditation and it brings it to another level, because here you're not just meditating, you're actually finding solutions within the meditation to help yourself, and you have concrete questions you can ask yourself, which I wish that I had read your book earlier, because I would have been able to deal with some things that happened this week. But in life, sometimes we do stupid things, and Melissa and I discussed the stupid thing that I did. I won't go into it, but I did a very stupid thing and caused pain for myself. And I think if I had read your book, I might have been able to avoid this stupid thing by thinking more about what my actions were. But when we do things like that, or when we lose people, or when life turns in a way that will make us unhappy, your book has solutions for dealing with that situation. And being in the present is a great way to deal with that solution, to actually be thinking, what am I doing? What is going on in the present? It doesn't matter what happened in the past, but what am I doing right now, where I am now, how I feel now. And those feelings are very important to keep in mind. And I think sometimes we lose those in the day-to-day life. And I was reading through your book, and I saw a lot of things that I was saying, yes, these are great ideas. And yes, I think that they can be accomplished. And I think for someone so young to have such a grasp of how to deal with life, it's very impressive. And I'd like to go through your book a little bit slower so that I can gain more from it. And I think that we need to go through and see what we are thinking in our heads, because so many people do not think and go about and do things that are not something that you should be doing. And I'm one of those people. I do act on spur of the moment, and it's best to not act on spur of the moment a lot, because if you can think about what you're doing and put yourself in the present, it's much better. You can overcome fear. And I think being able to overcome fear is something that everyone should be able to do. I wrote a whole book on overcoming mourning, on how, on how to get out of mourning by writing. And I mean, I didn't actually have a how-to, but it seems to be something that people use as a how-to to get yourself out of mourning by my poetry. And I think poets sometimes are in all three phases. We may start out in the present, but then we go into the past, and sometimes we go into the future in one poem. So poets are people who are thinking in three different time frames. And for us, poetry is a way to deal with that fear, with that anxiety, with that, if you're feeling anxious, write a poem. If you're unhappy, write a poem. If you're happy, write a poem. Not all people are like poets. Poets write poems constantly because of emotions, but your book is good for people who don't have that outlet. Poets always have that outlet to write a poem, but not, many people have the other one. So good luck to you with your new book, The Incomplete Fear. I think the title is very catchy. I think a lot of people are going to pick it up. I like the book cover. It's interesting. The question mark on its head was really interesting. And just keep it up. I mean, it's great you're having a second book. And if you're interested in coming on my program, I extend the invitation.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, it would be wonderful to have you on the program. I know you're in India, so it's kind of hard, but we have done that. I have
Yes.
Sure,
put
ma'am.
Indians on my program. So anyway, thank you, and good luck, and a wonderful book launch. And Masami, I give it back to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful words. And when you say yes, poets have the tool to defeat their fear, defeat their anxiety, and I could see, like, some traits of traits of a poet in Guru Srinivas ji also. Because when you flip the pages towards the end, I could read a verse in his book, if I am not mistaken, Guru. So, a question to you: what
And actually,
inspired?
wait, I want to just one more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
He ends with a poem, which I really loved. I love the poem.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Thank you.
that, he is a poet too. So it's very good. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Yes. So we have Guru Srinivas not only as a non-fiction writer or a motivational, writer or an author, which I would term more as an author. But when we see his book, this book, The Incomplete Fear, towards the end, I can also term him as a poet from today. So, Guru, what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah, sure. I'll answer the question. Before answering the question, I actually forgot to mention Lakshmi, who is also in the call, who supported me in writing this book. So I'll thank Lakshmi also for coming and joining this call. And yeah, I'll address this question. Like, kind of, what inspired me writing this book is that this is the second book, and partly this is a continuation of the first book. The first book titled "The 10 Wheels of Life." So 10 Wheels of Life actually addresses the first part, this which is fear. This second book addresses the anxiety part of us. So basically what happened was, when I wrote my first book, The 10 Wheel of Life, I felt okay, everything is going good, and we are able to set our goals, make a journey out of the goal. We have some kind of hopes on the destination where we are going. We are having control of what is happening. Like, if you keep 10 goals, like 10 dimensions in your life, and if you have goals, then everything is going smooth. But then the journey, the journey from where we started and the goal we are achieving in all dimensions of life, what's happening is that the journey is more important than the destination, because all our life, like at the age of whatever age we are going to attain those destinations in in any part of, like, for example, some can attain at a 40 financial independence. So each and every dimension, in certain ages, people can attain. But then the journey is what is more important, because the destination is going to be in a single day that destination will attain. But the journey, like so many years of journey. So then the quality of journey is what I wanted to aspect. I wanted to introspect, because in the first book I addressed all the fears, but then the journey, in the path of journey, we have anxieties too. So to address the anxieties, I thought, okay, we need to have a quality of life. So quality of life in the sense, be it for any noble cause, or basically what we have to what I thought was that we need to know more about ourselves. Only then the journey will be good, rather than like going ups and downs in our life, just going very externally, materially attaining all the goals. That'll do good only for some 50-60% of our life. But then the fundamental part is actually the inside of us. So inside of us actually drives what we are actually going to be, or how the quality of life is going to be. So that's how this inspiration started to write for this book. Basically what this book covers is the anxiety part. So anxiety part is like, we are not very for example, due to certain situations in our lives, due to certain unknowingly certain things which comes up in our life, unplanned things, we become anxiety to things. So how can we actually respond to those anxieties rather than reacting? For example, in this book I have structured in a framework wise. So in any particular time of life, a person is feeling anxious, this book will act like as a framework in the sense, we have 7 steps in this book, 7 steps as such. First is like knowing ourselves, like clearing our past. Like, we have a neuroplasticity in our mind, we need to clear ourselves about our past. We need to plan for the future. We need to know the game of life in the sense, we have a quantum physics around us. We are all connected, though we are all like thousands of kilometers apart. Each and we are all made up of atoms. We are all connected by some energy, which, and those energies are not like kind of, which is kind of not visible kind of those energies. Those are all visible, just that we have one common connections among us. So we need to be aware of that. Once we are being aware of that, we ourselves in this planet, every individual can raise their own consciousness. Once we raise the consciousness of everyone around us and we raise our consciousness, the thing will be like the war, like how she used to told, like the Ukraine-Russia war, everything. Those things, why they are fighting those wars? Basically, that for some one particular leader, they want to win, they want to be in peace in their palace. That's the reason they are fighting the war. But then for everyone to be at peace, for the world to be at peace, see, we create everything around us and we destroy it. So it is like we spend so much, every government around the world, be it US, Russia, or US, or any China, those governments spend so much in their budget for military. What military does is that all the other energies we put in for creating infrastructures are being destroyed by the same amount of money which we are paying as a tax. So all these contradictions will actually go slowly down when the consciousness of people rises. For each and everyone, it's not like one person or one people or this one book can do this. Everyone, the moment people become aware of this, people will have a raised consciousness, and by that people can have more peace. If they are at peace, people surrounding, if one person in a family is at peace, the whole family will be at peace. If one family is at peace, the society will, they can transmit the energy to the whole society. If a particular society is at peace, obviously the whole world will be one day at peace. So that is actually a kind of inspiration I want to. The quality of journey in our life should be very nice, very smooth. That's a inspiration I wanted to had while I was writing this book.
Great, great, great. Awesome. At this age, so much of, in fact, I'm also getting inspired today. So wonderful, Guru. We have
Thank you.
Melissa ma'am with us, a strong motivational, again, it's a motivational speaker, a motivational poet. And she's always here with us as a pillar to support and motivate all the young and inspiring poets, authors. Melissa ma'am, what do you have to say today?
I briefly read your book. I do want to read it in detail, but I did find it fascinating that you referred to the past as depression and referred to the future as anxiety. And we are here, and that's the only place that we are. And it's difficult to release some of the negativity that has happened in the past. But once you do that and you forgive people, or you get over trauma that has happened to you, it does make you a much better person. Of course, it's more difficult to get over losing a loved one, but you can still, just create the positive memories to keep them inside of yourself and let go of any, fear of losing them. When my husband passed away, his wedding band disappeared, and that really hurt me. And I went on vacation in January, and I lost my beautiful wedding band. And it's almost, that broke my heart, and I cried. But then I thought to myself, it's almost like, higher spirit, a spiritual being is telling me, you've got to release the past. You have to move on. It's over. Those rings did not connect you. You are soul bonded forever. Electromagnetic energy that lives on and on. And I do think a lot of people have anxiety towards the future, or even anxieties of who they are on an everyday basis. We put so much emphasis, as you mentioned in your book, on material items, on accolades and awards. Yes, they decorate us to a certain degree, but they're not who we are. And, I found myself to be materialistic as times as I was growing up. And, I come from an upper middle class family. And now that the people that were the closest to me are gone, material items mean nothing to me. They absolutely have no meaning to me whatsoever. And I've been giving away a lot of things or donating. And I do find that we should seek nature to help heal us, and not just view. Nature is a visual presentation and visual beauty, but we really have to enjoy their spirituality. And I think once that you can do that, that you have this oneness with nature, it really changes who you are. And I know a lot of people think that's kind of odd, but I do think that you can have that connection. And all of my trees and my plants and my yard, even my grass, everything has a name. And I talk to them. And I think there's a few neighbors that probably think I'm a little cuckoo, but I don't really care. And but I do find a lot of spiritual connection there, and that is healing. And that is part of our consciousness. Our consciousness is not just who we are, but it's a higher power. You know, it's meditative, it's spirituality with nature. You know, it's connecting with great people like Barbara. You know, Barbara and I, we have discussed in details our life, and we have probably 90% similar pathways in life, whether it was a dating experience, whether it was something that happened in our youth, the type of men that we married. You know, we're both on antibiotics now. If we're looking at our fingernails, we have the identical color of polish on. There's really only probably 10% difference in what we've encountered in life. And it's almost like, we have to be soul bonded. It's just odd that that's why we call ourselves twins. And yeah, Barbara's book helped heal me. I'm still healing. I read her book and it was really beneficial to me, losing my husband because she lost her Hal and I lost my kin. And actually that's what initiated our friendship. And then, I suggested to Barbara that we should do a poetry initiative to discuss topics that are unpleasant. And she said, yes. So within 3 minutes, we were co-founders of this poetry initiative. And anytime that I have written any poems that delved into negative topics, such as war, hardly anybody even responds to it. But if you write something that's really flowery and pretty and uplifting, which we should, I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but it's almost like people ignore war. And if you ignore war, you will never come to the resolution of peace. War is evil, and and it's very destructive. It kills and maims people, destroys buildings, destroys animals. There's nothing positive. And I really do not know how our world leaders and our leaders can actually believe that that is the pathway to peace, because it's not. And, actually my dad was a high-ranking Department of Defense official. My husband was a military officer, but, they served for the country. And these men and women in today's world, they serve for the country. And I think it is a way that our leaders really diminish someone's quality of spirituality by putting these people in a situation where they believe that I'm a brave man because I'm serving and protecting the people. You're not doing anything other than creating havoc. But I also am concerned about people's anxiety, and we all have it. I know at times I have anxiety, and I think that's a normal process. But what really disturbs me, and I cannot speak about other countries, but in the USA, it has become commonplace, mainstream, that so many people are on antidepressants and other means of medicating their anxieties instead of dealing with them, instead of meditating or visiting cosmic nature or different things. And that really bothers me, because when you mask over something, I think in the long run your emotions are going to be even greater than what they would in a normal process. And I have two friends that are both on antidepressants and have a lot of difficulties dealing with day-to-day living. One's a registered nurse, and the other one is a yoga instructor, very spiritual. But I just have a problem with people not having a oneness with themselves and a oneness with each other and a oneness with nature. And it just worries me, because if you're suppressing your emotions, then you will never heal. And I really found your book to be fascinating. And, you know, a lot of it I could point to myself and say, yeah, that was me, or that is me. And I think that there's not one aspect of your book that will not be relatable to anyone that picks it up and reads it. And I congratulate you. And like Barbara stated, you are so young, and you are at a place that I was not at your age. And it took me years and losses of people to get where you're at. And I salute you for that, because it just shows that you're just a high vibrational person, and you place a lot of positive energy in the universe.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful words. I could relate every word, relate how, you talk to the nature, I talk to the nature, relate how,
Yeah.
we communicate with the flowers, with the plants, the green and all, and that gives us peace. That is everything for us. Right, Guru Srinivas, you must be enlightened today,
Yeah,
with such motivational,
yeah,
personalities with us and motivational words. Now, we all have heard, we all know that your first book is a bestseller, and
yeah.
this book is widely sought. I also remember, NGOs or certain, we have clubs, Lions Club and all, they calling me and asking for your book. So, how do you feel about that? Like, had you ever thought or dreamt that your book would be a bestseller, your first book?
Truly, I'm really honored for actually for the opportunity Griffin gave me to publish my first book, and I'm also honored for the same event book launch. All of people who are now in this call came for me to bless and launch the previous book. And I didn't expect that that book will be a success, but then I strongly felt that was something needed, because I thought it's not like needed for others, but then I honestly thought that that book, the 10 wheels of life, is needed for me. So when I started writing that book, I was myself was not very clear about how to put like I had some sometimes I used to go to gym or go to some do some health activities, and I'll skip it. So I'll not have balance over my life. Like I'll do some part of my life, sometimes of my life I'll save money, sometimes I'll after 3-4 months I'll spend that. So it's like kind of I was not having proper balance, and I was like getting into a like wild zone, like. But then that book myself, when I started writing it and I put structure, the same book gave not only I hope gave like a lot of direction to other people who read it, but it also gave direction to me as well. So when I write it, I myself structured my whole life as well. So by that, I actually to answer the question, I'm really honored and humbled and blessed by all of you and God for being a bestseller in that category. Thank you so much, Mosmi, for giving the opportunity.
Great, great. We have Dawa Drupa sir with us. I told you, if I speak of spirituality, if I speak of peace, if I speak of healing, I can just remember Drupa sir, because when I see him spiritually connected to nature, to social service, to the students, to the children, I really feel inspired and motivated. So, and he is an educationist, he is a researcher and a writer. Dava Dukpasa, what do you have to say today? Because you have been teaching and training so many young people. I can see that towards spirituality, and also, how to defeat depression and come out successful. What do you have to say today when you have gone through Guru Srinivas's book, The Incomplete Fear?
Okay, Kuzampola, Namaskar. Respected, eminent, inspirational poet from the US and New York, and Shiju Sarji, the very important person for today's event, that is Mr. Gurusrinivas ji and his mother, and fellow lovers of literature, those who are watching Facebook Live as well. Today, we gather here for a momentous occasion, the book launch ceremony of The Incomplete Fair by the talented writer Guruji. So today we gather here not just to celebrate the birth of another literary masterpiece, but to honor the profound impact of words that have the power to shape minds, touch hearts, and ignite our imagination. This literary masterpiece acts as a compass. So why I'm referring this as a compass is because it's guiding us towards the path of self-discovery. It urges us to explore deep into the recesses of our minds, to confront our fears, and then embrace the uncertainties that lie ahead. It reminds us of the importance of understanding our past, for it shapes our present and influences our future. As we talk through the corridors of time, the author, as I go through the book, the author reminds us to cherish the moment of the present, for it is in this fleeting instant that life truly happens. You know, as we gather around this remarkable literary work, we must acknowledge the dedication, passion, and countless hours of hard work invested by the author. The art of storytelling, with its ability to transport us to distant lands, parallel universes, or even deeper within ourselves, is a rare gift. So, today we celebrate the culmination of our writer's vision and his courage to share it with the world. You know, in a world filled with distraction, as someone already, you have already mentioned earlier, like the Ukraine and the Russian war, like so in a world filled with distractions, books serves as a sanctuary, a refuge where we can retreat to learn, relearn, then upskill ourselves, grow and expand our horizons. The act of reading allows us to emphasize with characters, understand diverse viewpoints, and foster a deeper sense of compassion for one another. So today I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the author for your creativity and perseverance. And I express my gratitude to the Griffin publication, Miramasam, for gracing this book launch ceremony with the fellow lovers of the literature across the globe. So on behalf of the Griffin publication and other enthusiastic readers, I thank the author of the book for coming up with this piece of literature, for giving us the choice to read more. Congratulations and badai. And also no, thank you again the Griffin publication, Meramosmi, for inviting me in this very important event, and have a wonderful book launch. Now, so you know, writing and publishing a book is a very challenge nowadays. In this modern world, it's very challenge, because most of us and the youth, their attentions are diverted. They are mostly focused on social media, and we could see they hardly read books. So it's very challenging for the writers like you and like me. Why I'm sharing this is I started my writing in 2009, and till date I've 5 publications on my net. So I felt the same, the difficulties, the challenges. So it's very important, very challenging. But the important thing is that we should not get blocked by these challenges. because no, because we fail only if we stop writing. We fail only if we stop writing. So we should not stop writing. We should always write. And so I would like to see, and I hope to read your third book, Guruji. I hope to read your third book as well. So so if I keep on speaking, then I have many things to share. So I'll keep rest for the next the part. So with this, I would like to conclude with a prayer. May the incomplete fare find its way into the heart of readers far and wide, leaving a permanent mark on our souls and sparking conversations that enrich our lives. May our love for the literature continue to unite us and enrich our lives. May all writers and readers be free from suffering and its causes forever. May all the participants today become happier and become the change of your community and society. Together, we bring a happy future for us. Thank you, and Tashdile. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really very, very touching, really inspired by your words. Now it's time we formally release Gurusrinivas's book, The Incomplete Fear. Just give me a second.
Here it is.
Can you see? Heartiest
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Siju sir, can you see the cover page? Gurusrinivas, heartiest
Yeah, yeah.
congratulations for this
Thank you. Thank you.
wonderful book, The Incomplete Fear. This is the full cover page. Today we formally release Guru's The Incomplete Fear. He is the best-selling author of the 10x Wheel of Life. I would request all of you who are watching this show, grab this copy soon and go through and defeat all your, I can't say all your problems in life, but find ways to solve your problems in life. Find ways to defeat your fear. And this book is available on Amazon, KDP. It's available internationally. Just grab it, go through it. Yes, Gurusrinivas, what about your next plan? Are you planning to write your next book?
Yeah. So basically now I'm really planning to do some impactful work, because I would rather want to make people go through these lines and make them more impactful because of this book. So my focus next is on doing this one and making, and I had a feedback from my first book regarding, like, there are some places where they want more explanation, kind of self-explanation kind of thing. So I want to detail it out certain chapters. So that's where my next step is. So I want to
Okay.
elaborate on the first book, and I want to republish it. That's the thing I'm planning
Well,
for my next.
great. All the best, Gurusrinivas. I'm waiting for Siju sir. I hope he is here. He can listen to us. Sir, what do you have to say about the cover page? I find it catchy. I find it intriguing because I think it pulls the readers to know what is that question mark and why it is upside down, right? I think, sir,
First and
yes, yes, sir.
foremost, mostly that yellow background is one of my favorite color, especially for a book cover. The yellow background always. Am I audible enough?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, the fact is that yellow color on a book is very pleasant actually. So that way, the color choice is awesome. And the upside down question mark, that will bring in a lot of curiosity to the reader. I mean, even if that words doesn't catch the eyes, why is the question mark put upside down? So the person might give a look to the cover. So I believe a very skillful marketing strategy has been adapted when designing the cover. I don't know whose concept was the cover, but it's come out very well. Because the first moment when I saw the cover, I was looking at, oh my God, why is the question mark? So, I remember there was a restaurant which became a big blockbuster. I would rather say a superb selling restaurant. The reason why that restaurant was doing so well is because the name of that restaurant was Three Bells. But in the picture, only two bells were there. In the picture of the restaurant, only two bells were there, but the name of the restaurant was Three Bells. So everybody who was like, they wanted to tell that, there is one bell missing. So those people used to enter into the restaurant. And that way, people started understanding the strength of the culinary delicacies over there. And that restaurant became a very popular restaurant. And that person, the reason why he kept it as two bells this was the reason. So similarly, now as thousands and thousands of books keep on coming every year, it is very difficult for people to choose a book, because they see plenty of book covers, and every book cover is one is the better than the other. So there should be some certain catchy points like a pleasant yellow color, an upside down question mark, and then the title of the book. Obviously we have to definitely complement the title of the book, the incomplete fear. So in a way, in this function today, we have completed the incomplete fear.
Right,
So
right.
the solution of the book is that all your incomplete fear, we will complete it for you. So in a way, like the content of the book is what is your fear. The fear is that anxiety, as Gurusrinivas said. So we have given a solution, a complete solution to how to overcome that anxiety, and the methodology, the 7 steps, as he said. So I believe a lot of sagacity has to go into creating such books. It's not easy. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's it. Like, and of course, Griffin Publications, any covers, I've always loved it. I know that Mosami is very hard in those. So I'm not praising you just because today I'm here in this function. Otherwise, also your covers, I used to love it. I used to tell you also, even couple of the forums covers also I asked you to design, because I know you're. I just gave you an outline, and many covers that you showed me, it was actually exactly what I wanted. So that kind of wavelength is there, means that shows a lot of maturity in your PR skills in terms of, making a cover. By the way, out of curiosity, who was the person who designed this cover? Was it Mausami or was it Gurusrinivas' suggestion?
No, the concept was Gurusrinivas. The concept is given by Guru only. It is only polished by our designer. The entire concept belongs to Gurusrinivas.
So Gurusrinivas is as good in presentation as much as he's good in the content. That's good.
Thank you, sir. So it's all Mosmi's like with help, we could come out with this thing.
Actually speaking, getting a book into the market as a published book, it's like preparing a grand wedding. There's so many things you have to look into. You have to look into the kind of audience it is targeted at. You have to look into. You might around 100 times you might look at the cover before you give that final nod, and then if you keep thinking too much and the book does not get published, I'm sure Mausami, ideas will keep changing.
Yes.
There's no consistency to that. In my conversation yesterday itself, you would have understood that. So it's always better
Right.
to launch the book, then
Launch.
go, then follow the process of, getting into the hands of the people. That's what matters more. Even while Katashi Tales, more than the content, my time was spent on designing the cover, to be very honest. I wanted to
And it was
make sure
attractive.
each and every color of the cover page, goes in sync with that, what concept I had in mind and all that stuff. And another big concept I had in mind was this was more of a kind of book of happiness, because those stories were all fun-loving. It was a book of happiness. So I didn't want people to gift wrap that book. When they take the cover itself, the cover should be in a way that it's already gift wrapped. So there are so many ways of handling covers. And here, being a non-fiction book, a question mark turning upside down, the pleasantness of a yellow background, this has all gone very well in sync with the the content of the book. And of course, I'm sure that it will do great numbers in terms of volume sales. And I'm sure that, of course, Srinivas and Mausami will definitely put in a lot of efforts also. And from our end also, myself, and I'm sure Barbara, Melissa, everybody will do a support system, whatever we can within our purview. So congratulations. So finally, the wedding has happened. The author and the book has got married. So
Yes,
let's
sir.
all keep
And the
extending our
author's
support
mother
to
is here, sir. So the author's mother is here. I just wanted to hear her word. How is she feeling today? She missed the first launch because of her professional commitments, but today she is here. And wedding, it's a grand wedding. So how is she feeling today? May I ask you, ma'am?
Sorry, I was in mute and I was just talking. And
Yes.
good evening. And I'm overwhelmed with all your wishes because in the world, every parents will be so happy to see their son being appreciated and motivated, blessed in front of them. So far, long before, he was said as his father name is Guru Namachivayam and Sudha's son. Now, with all your renowned people from you are saying about him as Gurusrinivas' mother is here. So what else I need? Because I'm so happy. Yeah, so really so happy. And I'm especially happy. And I should thank Griffin Publications and Mouseme to brought everybody under one roof to appreciate him and to bless him. Thank you very much. And because of my son Gurusrinivas, I'm able to meet all of you from different parts of the world. So I should thank him. I'm so blessed to have a son like this. I mean, my both his father and me are so blessed to have a son like him. No words else to say for me. And next is as Sir said, his next is my wedding should happen in near future. This is what we are waiting. Thank you.
Barbara, ma'am, what do you say? A mother's feeling, the grand wedding. Yes, ma'am.
I too am a mother, and very nice to meet you. Sudha, right? That's your first name. And very nice to meet you. And as a mother, and also the author of a book that is in process to be published. I appreciate all of the things that go on with publishing. And as a matter of fact, to add to Shiju's declaration that the cover is the worst thing. This is what's keeping my book from being published, is the cover is not done. And I only hope that at the end that I will be as happy as we are with the cover, but the cover of a book is very important. Your cover really interested me. A question mark upside down just was so cute. And I thought, why is that? Why is there an upside down question? And maybe I thought, maybe it's because our lives are upside down and this book is going to help us to write them. That's the part of it. But I think books like yours are very important to have and to read and to look at as a resource for your life, because so many people need resources for their lives. And I'm going to try to get my daughter to read it. I know I will not, but I will try. And I appreciate you writing a book that possibly could help my own life. So thank you and congratulations, hearty congratulations to you. And thank you to your mother, who must have done something right to have you, this way. And there's a Yiddish expression that means that you're feeling very, excited about your child. And it's that you've got nachas. You've got nachas from your child. And it's a wonderful feeling to have that. It goes all through your body when something wonderful happens to your child, and it's happening to you too. And congratulations to you for this
Thank
day. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, Gurusrinivas, heartiest congratulations. Melissa ma'am, how do you feel today? Like, the grand wedding of Gurusrinivas is being
Well,
complete here. Sir, Siju sir has just, lightened the matchstick. Now we are just catching and we are not going to leave Guru today. Yes, Melissa ma'am.
I do, unlike Barbara, I have to congratulate his mother for creating just a wonderful human being. And I do feel like he has an old soul because he is so enlightened at a young age. And he's very impressive. And like I stated, it took me years to get where he's at, and I'm still on that journey. And I do like how he says it's a journey, not a destination, because the future is unknown. And I think there is so much wisdom and spirituality in his book, and it was quite impressive. And I'm just surprised at how youthful he is, and just being so enlightened and just being an old soul. And I don't know if it's because maybe, some people believe in past lives, so maybe he's evolved to that point. And then a lot of people believe that you can do past life regression to heal your pain. So, there's a lot of things that we can possibly tap into to, become better people, because if we're better people with better consciousness, as he stated, it is the consciousness of all of us. And that has to happen, because as we know, there's been centuries and centuries of wars. It's nothing new. The Ukraine-Russian war is just an add-on from centuries and centuries of things that have never resolved anything. And yes, we do have to all become better. And I do have to say this, I know it's irrelevant, but the majority of my poems comes from dreams. And I know that's strange, and it's almost like there's something that speaks to me when I'm sleeping, and that's my muse. It just happens. And but once again, congratulations to the mother, and for producing such a wonderful son, and congratulations to you on your second book, and appreciate you greatly.
And I just
Thank
want
you
to
so
say
much. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I want to say one more thing. When I read the book, I thought for sure that he would be a much older man. And I am just overwhelmed by how such a young man can have such mature thoughts. And I have to bring it back to the mother who brought your child to this point to think in this fashion. Whatever I know people are born with these kinds of old souls, as Melissa said, and I think he does have an old soul, and I think he's able to tap in to things that people who are much older don't even find. That wisdom of being able to find a way to deal with the present is a very old, it happens with experience, and many people don't even do it. So I'm just overwhelmed at your youth, and happy because you're going to be able to keep writing so many more books. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, Jukwa sir, the grand wedding and the cover page, just 2 lines. What do you have to say on his cover page today?
I think the questions, the doubt that that's in my mind is already shared by Shiju sir already. So I think I've now my doubts are already cleared. But then to the authors now, to the author's mother, I would like to thank you for bringing such the talent and the creative your son here. And then again to the author, I think you had many things to be done for your mother as she has wishes, and and I wish you best of luck for your third book, and of course your final wedding. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Guru Srinivas. As we move toward ending the show, a few lines for your readers to welcome, all right, to your book. Yes, Guru Srinivas, how would you welcome the readers to grab your book, and just a few lines for the readers so that, everyone watching you may know you and may know what actually you are expecting. Expectations actually are nothing, but, yes, when you speak to your readers, you definitely want them to grab your book and go through the pages. What do you have to say today to the readers, to the audience who are watching us today?
Sure. Thanks. So I'll pick point from our fellow, like how Barbara ma'am told, how Davas are told, how Melissa ma'am told, how Shizos are told. So basically, all have anxieties. The only thing is like how far we have anxiety. The point is like suddenly today something happens, or something happens, or suddenly we get something subconsciously. We are anxious for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. Sometimes in life we are anxious for 1 week, 1 month. Sometimes it happens that we are anxious for continuously for years together. So what's that, the time frame? That time frame is more important. So everyone, obviously there is no one solution, or we'll never, whatever happens, obviously we are going to get anxious, we are going to have fear. But then how far we are going to carry that fear, or how far we are going to carry the anxiousness? For example, this book, once a person reads this book, and the framework which is built in this book has a mechanism where the time frame can be reduced to such an extent that a person, if he is having anxiousness for weeks together, by just reading this book, following the frameworks, he can reduce the time to just 30 minutes or an hour. Like everyone will have a time, will need like a cushion or something to think about what happened in their life, and they'll be an anxious. But then that anxiousness is worth only for 1 hour or 30 minutes. More than that, it's not that worth. So people who are anxious for weeks together, months together, years together, by chance if they come to read this book, they may reduce the time they had the anxiousness for. So they can reduce their time. Even in future, if a person is having anxiousness or fear, they can go back to this book and read this framework, and they can reduce the time, and they can be at present, and they can be they can live their life happily. That's the point I wanted to bring to the readers.
Thank you so much, Guru Srinivas. Once again, heartiest congratulations. Can I see the book in your hand, Guru Srinivas? I hope you have a copy with you.
It's a
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah, this is a book. Just got a copy yesterday from me. And yeah, this is a one written in such way that people can quickly go through the book, and hope if anyone is having thing from my side.
Can you lift the book a bit? I will take a picture.
Yeah.
Yay. I just want to say one more thing, that I thought it was fantastic that he discussed dealing with anxieties, how some people react so emotionally, and that only creates a more difficult situation. And I do think that we need to be more logical when we're dealing with anxieties in life. And I think that's beneficial for people to have that aspect of your book as well.
Right, right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I would like to announce that Griffin Publication is preparing to make their presence in October in Pune Literature Fest. I would welcome your books to our stall. We would be demonstrating the important books there. I have also been provided the space to demonstrate some like demonstrate and present something. So I would be taking all the books and also demonstrate some of the important books which I think good would be, good for students, good for people, and would also be inspiring and entertaining too. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Siju sir, for taking out time and being with us. Your support, your blessing, your motivation would be sought after every day, every time, every minute. I would, I would be after you. Thank you so much. Barbara ma'am, thank you so much. Every morning, my book launches are definitely always in the evening. And Barbara ma'am and Melissa ma'am, I make you wake up early in the morning just to see your smiling face and your motivational words. You look so wonderful and beautiful. Barbara ma'am, you are dressed up and you are looking beautiful today. So so no more video of now. So nice, and I'm very glad that you have invited Guru Srinivas to your show. Definitely, you get connected with him and Guru. She has
Yeah.
a wonderful platform. She hosts wonderful shows. So you are getting a wonderful platform. You already are a member of Motivational Strips. Thank you so much, Melissa ma'am, and thank you so much, Jukpa sir. I would really be grateful if you welcome this book to your school, to your community there in Bhutan. If you want, I will send the books to you, the number of copies you want. The students can read, and and even the teachers, everybody can read and may find helpful. Uh, Thank you so much, all the guests, and thank you so much, Sudha ma'am, Guru Srinivas's mom, for being here today. We are really honored that you are present here to launch your son's book. Heartiest congratulations once again, Guru Srinivas. Readers,
Thank
grab
you.
your copy today, The Incomplete Fear. It's available on Amazon internationally. Thank you so much, everyone. We will meet tomorrow again with a new book, again with our eminent speakers. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Guru Srinivas, once again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
Gurusrinivas